Hey YouTube, Kira Qualia here, bringing you all an update to my Dragon Empire Arms deck profile for post-awakening of Chakrabarthi. With the release of the Murray start deck, we had to wait a little while longer before we got the full support for the Bavsagra deck. This deck focuses on basically equipping different arms or weapons to your main grade 3 unit, Sealed Blaze Maiden, Bavsagra, and then utilizing those different weapons against your opponent with the many different card abilities that they can do, and the new Trick Moon grade 0 unit just for additional power plus card abilities. Very happy with the results of the deck. Big thanks to my buddy Jim for letting me borrow his deck for the deck profile. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So for the ride deck, our starter is Sealed Blaze Dragon, our Hinsa. It's just the standard when wrote upon. If you went second, draw a card. Our grade 1 is Sealed Blaze Dragon, Narmor. When this unit is placed on Vanguard by riding from Sealed Blaze Made Dragon, our Hinsa, use Soul Blast 1, search your deck for up to 1 Sealed Blaze Sword, Pravith, and 1 Sealed Blaze Shield, and reveal it, put it into your hand, and shuffle your deck. So you have the option for either the sword or the shield, and being a search option, before any damage checks or anything, you have those searches and are able to add them to your hand, both giving you either an offensive or defensive play style against your opponent. Our grade 2 is Sealed Blaze Dragon, Halabadra. When this unit is placed on Vanguard by riding from Sealed Blaze Dragon, Nemarkar, you choose an arms card from your drop zone, put it into your hand. Recycle power if you do end up damage checking one and you can end up healing it, or just for the discard cost for your ride deck. And the grade 3 is Sealed Blaze Maiden, Bavsagra. It's the main go-to grade 3. There was no grade 4 introduced for it. In set 4, they wanted to start off with just the early support being the main grade 3 from the start deck. So being the main one, we're running 3 additional units in the main deck. On Vanguard, once per turn, when this unit is armed, Soul Blast 1, choose a grade 1 or less card from your drop zone, call it to rear. So the main search for this would obviously be Trick Moon with the additional option for your armed Vanguard for the additional power of your Bavsagra using this card. So additional 3, and on Vanguard once per turn, if this unit is armed with 2 or more cards, Soul Blast 2, retire all of your opponent's front row rear guards, and this unit gets critical +1 until end of turn. That is where the true power comes in, disarming all of your opponent's intercept units, and then just having the additional critical with the additional plus power, whether it be from a Persona ride, or even just for the additional strengths that all the different arms give you. For the additional backup grade 3 in the deck, we are also running 4 Sealed Blaze Dragon Adarla. When this unit is placed on rear, if your Vanguard has 1 arms, counterblast 1, choose an arms card from your hand or drop zone, and arm it to one of your Vanguards. This just adds the additional power because the arms are an order. You can normally only activate 1 per turn, but being able to use this card, giving you the additional option. And on rear guard, during your turn, if your Vanguard has 2 or more arms, this unit gets plus 5,000 power. The plus 5 is just an additional bonus. It's mostly here for the option of, just equipping and arming your Sealed Blaze Maiden Bavsagra with the 2 different arms orders and having access to more of your skills that much more quickly. That's it for the grade 3s. Moving on now to the grade 2s. We do run a low grade 2 count just because we have to focus on some of the spots for the arms cards as well. And that is 2 Blaze Maiden Tanya. When this unit is placed on rear guard, counterblast 1, choose a grade 0 from your drop zone, call it to rear. This will be Trick Moon, just as an easier option to call it out onto the field. And on rear guard, when this unit attacks, Soul Blast 1, choose one of your grade 0s, and it gets plus 5 until end of turn. Just an additional power boost with this card. Very useful altogether for the recycle, and then just the additional power. And also 2 Twin Bullet of Duststorm Travis. This is a new card from the set. On rear guard once per turn, if your opponent's rear guard was retired this turn, counterblast 1. And then you also have the option with the Soul Charge to choose one of your opponent's rear guards, retire it, and this unit gets plus 10,000 until end of turn. The Soul Charge definitely does come in handy to make use of with Bavsagra. So you have the additional Soul Blast, whether it be for the grade 1 call or less, or the retire of your opponent's front row. And that is it for the grade 2s. Moving on now to the grade 1s. I'm running 2 Sealed Blaze Dragon Ahisida on rearguard. During your turn, this unit gets plus 2,000 for each card on your Vanguard. This includes arms, but not the soul. So ideally, it can get plus 6,000 power, making it a 13k attacker against your opponent's Vanguard, which it still should be able to hit if they don't get a trigger unit, or a boost to one of your other grade 2 or other units on the field, adding immense power to them with the just added, play of what your opponent or what your Vanguard was meant to do. And for more defensive options, I'm also running 2 Stealth Dragon, Fuchimachi Madoka. On rearguard or guard circle, if your opponent's drop zone has 4 more cards, it gets plus 2,000 power and shield plus 5. And if it has 8 or more, it gets an additional plus 5 shield. Just a good guard card to use in the deck as added defense. We do have the new draw trigger in the deck, so if you didn't want to run this card, you can always add in 2 additional Tanya, or even mix up the numbers and add 1 more Travis and 1 more Tanya for a 3-3 add for the grade 2 lineup. And then for the last of the grade 1s, 4 of the Twin Buckler Dragon, it's just the staple go-to Sentinel, being able to have the no discard cost if you only have 1 other card in your hand, with you guarding with the card. If the last card is a Sentinel, you can at least block the attack from your opponent using that final card without a cost. And that's it for the grade 1s. For our grade 0s, before we get to the actual triggers, we are running 4 Trick Moon. This is the new addition, I would say the opposite to Trick Star for the deck. When this unit is placed on your back row, center, rear from your drop zone, you countercharge 1. So you have the option with either Tanya or Bhavsagra to call out this card, giving you a countercharge. Will make up for a lot of the countercharging, counterblasting you do with your other arms units. And when this unit boosts, the boosted unit gets plus 10,000 till end of that battle for each card of your Sealed Blaze Maiden Bhavsagra is armed with. Having the plus 10 for the dress boost is what it's called. Having a 5k unit originally, adding that immense power to it just makes it all the scarier with the additional critical. You have to Persona Ride for this unit to definitely be a threat against your opponent's Vanguard for that attack. And then moving on now to the orders. These orders are actually called the Normal Order Arms. We are running 4 of the new, I would say, offensive arms, and that is the Sealed Blaze Spear Adhitya. On rear, you basically can only activate 1 and then place it on your Vanguard circle with that added option. You play it with a Counterblast of 1, and on Vanguard, when this unit is armed, draw a card, and you may play an additional arms card this turn. This just helps to set up the additional arms card on the field, and on Vanguard during your turn, if this unit is armed, it gets plus 10,000 power. Along with the dress boost, if your opponent doesn't have a perfect guard, it's definitely going to be a difficult card to guard against Bhavsagra because of the immense power that all these different units add onto your Vanguard. The other ones that we run are more one-ups because they're searchable, that being the Sealed Blaze Sword Prithith, with this being the damage option against your opponent just by getting rid of this arm, and then also being able to set up another arm, the additional turn, being your Adhitya. The one Swanhewn being the shield option. You only need 1 of this card because it is a searchable card, having 10,000 once per turn when it's armed and your unit is attacked. And lastly, the other defensive one would be Sealed Blaze Gun Chandra on Vanguard. When this unit is armed with this card attacks, Counterblast 2, and if this arm card gets drive plus 1 to the end of that battle. It would be an added option with the additional plus power, just to have an additional triple drive to make it that much more scary when you drive check, having a better chance to use and get additional triggers. And you only have to play this card with a Soul Blast of 1 and a Counterblast for Swanhewn, and with Prithith, another Soul Blast 1. As for the additional grade 0s, which are the triggers, we are running 7 criticals, so 4 Burning Flail Dragon and 3 Conduct Spark Dragon. Added pressure with the triple drive and the additional plus power that Trick Moon and all your other arms cards can provide. And we are also running 4 Draw Trigger, being the new Flare Veil Dragon. This just adds more shield power and draw consistency into the deck that you definitely do need for just hand consistency and rear guards to call. With the last being the 4 heal triggers. The White Light Dragon Parasolis, I would say, is the most fitting one for the deck. You can always try the Blaze Maidens. They are sort of a Blaze Maiden lineup in the deck to begin with, but this is what Marissa used in the anime, so always fun to go with what they used there. With the last card being the Overtrigger Dragveda, the restand power, especially with Bhavsagra, can restand your Vanguard, giving it an additional attack against your opponent with that added critical thanks to the arms card. And as always, that is it for the deck profile. With each set, we get more and more decks to do deck profiles for Overdress. I tried to do as many as I could for the 3rd set, but I'll definitely try to with Awakening of Chakrabarthi because we do have a big gap between this set and the 5th set for Overdress. We'll have some other fun sets in between, but look forward to it as I update all the other decks that got new support from this set as well. And as always, until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And Kira Qualia out.